Okay. Having never done this before, I don't know what I'm doing and I don't know how this is gonna turn out. But let's do it anyways. Yay! Hello, my beautiful Madi squad. My name is Madison Brunailer, also known as Madi2theMax. And I'm not doing impressions. So I am actually going to do a get ready with me video. Is that what they're called? Oh, I'm so professional. So I have a couple of conventions coming up and I have a new Eclipsa costume that I just finished making. And I want to do a full test run of it, put everything on, hair, makeup, film some TikToks for it. So I thought, why don't I film a get ready with me video while I put all of that on and maybe tell you some stories like how I met Thomas Sanders and the such. Probably answer some questions that you guys asked me online. Let's dive right in, kids. Are you ready, kids? Aye, aye, Captain. I can hear you. Aye, aye, Captain. Ew. I broke a nail. This is off to a great start. So, how I met Thomas Sanders. So this story starts at VidCon 2018. Me and my manager, because I go to VidCon with my manager because I'm cool like that, we had these special tickets to go to these creator lounges, which were off of the VidCon site, but kind of close in a nearby hotel. So we had gone to all these lounges. They were amazing. Like YouTube had a lounge, Instagram had a lounge, Snapchat had a lounge. There was all these amazing lounges and met a lot of really cool people and it was awesome. But we had been there for a couple of hours and we were really tired at that point. We were just like, let's go back to the hotel and crash. This has been awesome. And so we are headed for the exit and I can see the lobby and I'm walking down this hallway and I can see the lobby and I think I can see one of the Super Carlin brothers. And I was like, ooh, I would like to stop and talk to them because they're like all about Disney and heck yeah, like that'd be great. I wonder if I can talk to them. And as I'm thinking, I wonder if I can talk to them, I hear my manager behind me go, no. I'm like, what, I can't talk to them? Like, that's what I'm thinking. So I turn around and look at her and she's not looking at me. She's looking over here, staring wide-eyed at somebody. And I look where she's looking and Thomas Sanders is just standing there. I just walked by Thomas Sanders and not even realized it. So my eyes go wide, like this big. And at that exact moment, Thomas glances up at me as my eyes are like this, staring at him. He made eye contact with me at that exact moment. So, yes. Now, I just want to preface this by saying I don't normally get starstruck. I'm usually very good at being like, oh, they're a cool person. Awesome. I like their things. That's awesome. Really cool. Okay, let's have a conversation. But it's Thomas. I fangirl just a little bit. But not right away. He was currently talking to some other people. So I stood there very patiently, very calmly, just waiting for him to finish his conversation because I'm a good person. And I didn't glomp him. Y'all remember glomping? That was a thing. That was a thing that's no longer okay. And I was just kind of going over in my head like, what do I say to him? What do I say to him? What do I say to him? It's Thomas. I love this man. I love this man. At one point I wanted to marry this man. Then I found out he was gay and realized that wouldn't really work out for either of us. He then finishes his conversation. And then he turns to me and says, hi, like the sweetest cinnamon roll that he is. And I say, I'm so sorry, I'm fangirling over you right now. I just love you so much. And he was like, oh no, that's totally okay. Do you want a hug? Yes, I want a hug. And the way that you think Thomas Sanders hugs people is exactly how Thomas Sanders hugs people. It's like hugging a big fluffy pillow of love and sugar. Oh, such a good hugger. Anyways, I then pull myself together after fangirling, and we end up having a very lovely, lovely conversation about voice acting and Disney, and just if he ever wanted any help with anything. He could always ask this random fan he met one time, but he was very, very sweet and was like, yes, I might DM you for that. Yeah, sure, okay. So then, at this point, I have now given him one of my famous chocolate-covered pretzels with my business cards on them. If any of you have ever met me, you know how amazing these chocolate-covered pretzels are. Hold for airplane. No, that's a helicopter. Brah, that's a helicopter. And that's going right over my house. Then I gave him a chocolate-covered pretzel with my business card that has my channel on it and all that fun jazz. Then as I'm walking away, at this point, I'm on a hype overwhelm. I can't stand it. I just had the most amazing conversation with Thomas Sanders. He goes, oh, I like your Disney bound because at the time I was Disney bounding as Elsa. I just about lost it. What did we do to deserve Thomas Sanders? What did we do to deserve Thomas Sanders and Michael Sheen? Because they're so wonderful and I love them. Let's do the nose. Contour. That story wasn't nearly as long or as spicy as I thought it was going to be. Let's see. Y'all had some questions you asked me. Oh, here's another story. Okay. Well, no. I'll come back to that story. So, let's see. We got one question here. How old were you when you decided to pursue voice acting? Also, what is your favorite character to voice act ever? This is a complicated question, because I really started going, oh yeah, this is my career now, about 3-4 years ago. I made a video of just a bunch of impressions that I can do in 8 minutes, and I ended up having a casting agent actually saw it and decided to bring me in for a movie because he was like, oh, she has range, let's bring her in. And I ended up booking a voiceover role because of that video. So that's why I started to pursue voice acting and go, oh, yeah, this is actually my career. Wow, this is nice. And before that, I had been mainly pursuing on-screen acting, which I still love and I still do. I just don't do it as intensely. I don't put as much work and effort into it as I do with voice acting because voice acting feeds my soul and my bank account. What was I going with this? I never know. I never know where I'm going with anything. Like my life. Oh, favorite character to voice act ever. Happy Frog is fun. Like, Happy Frog for sure is fun. If more stuff for Happy Frog came up, I would definitely take the opportunity again because that was a fun character and I don't feel I got to play enough with her. Oh, I love playing Sailor in Explorers Academy. Oh, it was just so much fun to play. I loved her and I loved the project and I would hands down play that character again in a heartbeat. 10 years from now, if they call me up and are like, hey, Maddie, we want you to play Sailor again, I'll be like, I'm in. I don't even care. I'm in. Can you post a list of games and shows / movies you're in? Here. Did you have any pets in your childhood? Also, do you have one now? Yes, I did have 2 pets growing up. One was a kitten named Cute, which was technically my brother's cat. And was Cute a boy or a girl? That's how young I was when this happened. Wasn't there when we came home one day. That's all I remember. We also had a dog named Raggers. She was a stray that found us. And she was so tiny and sweet. And I loved her very, very, very much. And now we have a cat named Stark. You've seen him in my Lion King video if you are paying attention. He is a very fat, fluffy cat who hates to be picked up. What made you make an amazing channel like this? Spite? Like I said, I was doing on-screen acting, and I didn't feel like my headshot really conveyed what I could do as a character actress. I just looked very blasé in all my things, so I was like, fine, let me just create a channel and a bunch of characters and show you what I can do. So then you'll hire me to play these characters. So that's how my channel started. And then, like I said, I got that video, the impression video, ended up booking me a job. So I was like, let me pursue this voice acting thing and do more impressions on my channel. And now we are here. What was the first Disney movie you saw? That I remember seeing or that I know I saw? Because I know my dad's told me the story of him taking me and my brother to see 101 Dalmatians in theaters. I believe it was the live action one. And we just got really bored in the theater, which is why we didn't go to the theater again until me and my brother were much, much older. I will tell you that my Disney movie, the one that's like, this represents me, is Little Mermaid. To this day, want to be a mermaid. And it's my biggest life regret that I can't breathe underwater. Little Mermaid is my jam. She makes some poor life decisions at a very early age, and it somehow turned out okay. Yes. Now a little problematic as I look back on it later in my life. You betcha. But it's still my jam. If you could do a voice on any current running animated show, what would it be? Dragon Prince. I would love to be in Dragon Prince. I just adore that show and everyone that's involved in creating it. And I would love to be in Dragon Prince. I'm very upset that I'm not currently in Dragon Prince. What are some of your favorite impressions to do? Edna. Edna Mode, for sure. I love Edna. Edna is my spirit animal, along with a corgi, and Stitch. I love doing Stitch's voice. That was one of the first impressions I ever learned how to do. Coming back from the theaters, watching Lilo and Stitch, and it was like, ooh, yes, this voice I can do. Yeah. Why were you homeschooled? Because regular schools suck. Sorry to anybody that's in regular school. I went to a charter school when I was younger, and then I ended up going to a public school for 6 weeks, but it felt like 6 months. Then I ended up begging my mom to take me out of there and homeschool me again. I was not happy. I ended up being bullied, and all of my friends were the teachers, which always makes you very popular with the other kids. Oh, which actually leads me to another story. This is the story of when I went goth for a week. Looking back on it now, I probably just went emo-ish. I don't have any pictures of it, but I do know that it happened, and I was convinced that I was being very cool. Whether or not I was, I'm gonna let history take that away in the waves of time. So I was at this school, this public school, and I was getting bullied because I was the freak that was doing her homework during lunchtime. And so that, of course, made me targeted for being weird. I had this one gal, and I'm gonna go with gal because the word I want to use isn't appropriate. I thought she was gonna be my friend the first week, because we sat next to each other in homeroom or something, and I was like, oh, yeah, she seems cool, we'll be friends. And I don't know, something happened on the weekend, and she came back, and she was so mean to me. And then she got in this group of other kids and started bullying me. She called me Four Eyes. As far as insults go, that was really, really unoriginal. She once pantsed another kid in front of me. She didn't pants me. She pants someone else, making direct eye contact with me. Like, what was that supposed to prove? I don't know. I have quit trying to understand her mind. Ugh. About the worst time for this, like the height of it, and I could not take whatever she was trying to do to me anymore. So I was like, I need some armor. And I ended up starting to dress in black and wearing, eyeliner. But being the goody two-shoes that I am, still tried to adhere to the school's dress code. So I wore the same pair of black pants and the same 2 or 3 black t-shirts that I had. And I had these kind of combat boots, but not really. They were black boot type things with a little bit of a thicker heel. It made me feel confident. It was what I needed to get through the day. This chick never did anything directly to me. She never laid her hands on me, because if she had, I could sue her. So she never did that. Maybe that's why she pants that guy in front of me. That was this is what I want to do to you. Ugh, that's so weird. Anyway, the principal ended up sitting us down and being like, you guys have to be okay with each other. And I don't know if it did anything or not, but I think what it did is it put her in the radar of the principal, so she couldn't start doing crazy stuff. I don't know. I stopped dressing goth after that because I was like, oh no, everything's fine now. She wasn't bullying me anymore, but I still wasn't happy. So I begged my mom to take me out and start homeschooling me again. And she did, because she's an awesome mother. So that's that story. All the spicy tea. Who is your favorite, both forgotten or underrated Disney princess? I think it's Ariel. When I was little, because I'm named after a mermaid. I don't know if any of you know this. There's this movie called Splash with Tom Hanks, and there's a mermaid in it named Madison, who I'm named after. So the knowledge that I'm named after a mermaid very much empowered my I'm actually a mermaid with legs theory as a kid. One time I went to Disneyland, and the Ariel there, I ran up to her and was like, I'm named after a mermaid. And she was like, oh. She did not know how to react to that knowledge. Oh gosh, I've had this thing in my teeth this whole time. That is embarrassing. There we go. Much better. What is your favorite book of all time and how did you find out about it? Like, I love the Harry Potter series, but it's not my favorite book of all time. I will tell you that the book that actually got me to actually start reading, because I have a problem with reading. I'm not dyslexic, but it's not easy for me to read. So I will tell you that Twilight was the book that actually got me to actually read, which I will forever be grateful to Stephanie Meyer for that. But I think my favorite book series is Percy Jackson. So some of you might notice that I never wear colored contacts. And it's not because I don't want to, because I love being as accurate as I possibly can to a character. It's because I'm actually nearsighted. And I have to wear contacts when I'm not wearing my glasses. Which is like with every cosplay, I have to wear my seeing contacts. So if I ever wanted to do that, I would have to have prescription colored contacts, which are expensive. So that's why I don't ever do that. I'm glad I could answer that question that nobody asked. How did you choose your YouTube username? My aunt actually came up with Madi2theMax because I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna make this YouTube channel, and it's gonna be my brand for a very long time. So what name do we come up with? Because I can't use my last name as my username because my last name's Brunailer, and nobody can pronounce it, let alone spell it. So we need a brand. And she came up with a whole bunch. I think one of them was the Majestic Madi. At one point, I don't really remember what the rest of them were. But Madi2theMax, I really liked. So that's what I went with. It encompassed everything that I was doing and wanted to do. So it wasn't just like, Madi acts. So if it was like I want to do anything like do a Get Ready With Me video, it still encompassed that because it was me to the max. When did you get your first camera? My first camera was, I used the web camera on my computer to make videos. And I think I recorded with like Studio Pro or something. It was really bad. I ended up using my brother's camera for a good long while. And then I ended up investing about a year into getting my actual own camera. How did it feel to be on Five Nights at Freddy's? Really cool, but kind of surprising because I didn't realize that's what I was auditioning for. Like, I knew of Five Nights at Freddy's, but I didn't realize that that's what it was until literally after the job. It wasn't until people started going, "Are you Happy Frog?" on my channel that I was like, yeah, like, how do you know that? Oh, I just got the symbolism of why Eclipsa has spades on her cheeks where Star has hearts. Because spades look like upside down hearts, and Eclipsa was supposed to be like the inverse version of Star. When did you first discover Thomas Sanders' channel? Also, can you do another Steven Sides video? I'm not sure if I'm ever going to do another Steven Sides video. I mean, I've thought about it. Like, maybe I could, but it feels like I would just be a little redundant at this point. Yes, I could add, like, new characters like White Diamond Remus mashup or something, but that's about it. White Diamond eating deodorant. When did I first learn about Thomas Sanders? I think I had seen compilation videos of his story times, like the Vine compilation videos, and I just thought they were the funniest things. I did actually end up signing up for an account for Vine, and the only person I followed was Thomas Sanders. About a month later, Vine died. I never made any videos on Vine, which is funny now that I'm like obsessed with TikTok. And then I think I learned about his channel because the algorithm that knows everything about my life knew that I'd been watching Thomas Sanders' Vine compilations. And so when he first posted his first video saying, "Hey guys, I'm on YouTube and here's my personalities," I saw it. And it was like, well, this is fun. Yeah, I'll subscribe. I think this one's crooked. It's fine. Do you have any suggestions for new YouTubers or impressionists? Those are two very different answers. New impressionists, practice like crazy. How do you get good at doing voices? You practice them all the time. New YouTubers, find what you're passionate about and try and keep being passionate about that thing. It's going to be something that you're going to have to revisit all the time and stay passionate about it. So If you want to do a whole bunch of everything, great. It'll be a lot harder for the algorithm to figure out what your channel is about. But if it's your passion and joy, if you're not doing it just to get famous, if you're doing it because you genuinely love to do something, that's the way to do YouTube. Okay, I'm gonna have to stop talking right now because I'm about to do my lips. So I will edit around this. There we go. If you can work with one voice actor / actress, who would it be and why? Oh, I just realized my makeup's done. Okay, I'm gonna now put on the rest of my costume so that I can then paint my arm. I will be back. Ooh, doesn't that look wonderful? What voice actor would I like to do something with? Oh, there's so many good choices. My immediate thought is Tara Strong, but that seems very generic. I would like to work with Nancy Cartwright, I think, just because it would be interesting for so many reasons. Maybe Grey Delisle? You know what? No. I want to work with the entire cast of Dragon Prince. Can that be my answer? Because then I would mean that I was on Dragon Prince. This is a very awkward position to try and paint in. If there was a biopic made surrounding your life, who would you like to play it and why? My immediate first thought is I want Ricky to do it. Ricky Stewdippin. He's so not the right for casting reasons, but I feel like he could actually understand my essence and get it right. Ugh, seeing the back of my arm is really hard. Oh wait, I have a mirror. Right. Okay. When did you first start getting into cosplay, and do you have any tips for creating cosplays? I first started getting into cosplays when I was 14 years old. I cosplayed as Envy from Full Metal Alchemist. It was for Anime Expo. The first con I was ever at, and I was like, no, I have to be in some sort of costume, because that's just who I am. I didn't even know cosplaying was a thing. And I was obsessed with Full Metal Alchemist at the time. And this is before Brotherhood. So this was like the dark, depressing version. And then, like a crazy person, I walked around the convention barefoot because the character was barefoot. Don't do that, kids. Don't go to a convention barefoot. I am so lucky that I didn't, like, step on a nail or get salmonella on my feet or something. So don't do that. Tips for first-time cosplayers. The thrift store is your friend. Don't be afraid to thrift your costume. I did. For my first Envy thing, I got a bunch of black stuff and cut them up and sewed them back together by hand, like not on a sewing machine, like by hand stitching these pieces of clothing to look the way that I wanted to. But don't be afraid of the thrift store, and don't be ashamed of the thrift store. That's the important thing. The thrift store, I do so many of my costumes are thrifted costumes. Like what I'm wearing right now, this dress I got from the thrift store and then altered it. It's definitely not a thing to be ashamed of. Cosplay makes friendships. This is only slightly more awkward than when I painted my hands green for Alphaba. I'm not sure if I'm going to do this look at a convention, but this will be really cute for some TikToks. What's your favorite Disney park ride? Ooh, Screamin'. Or now it's called the Incredicoaster, but Screamin' in California Adventures is my favorite. I have this really good memory of me and my family went to Disneyland when I was pretty young-ish, and it started to rain while we were there. So we went in to see a show while it was raining because it was like, okay, let's just go see the show. And when we came out of the show, it had stopped raining, but everyone had left. So there was like no lines on anything. So me and my brother went on Screaming like 7 times in a row, and it was amazing. It was the best. It was great. Want to make a deal? You have to do something for me. Now, baby powder. Okie dokie. Enjoyed this Get Ready With Me video. I know I had fun, and it was a great excuse to put on this costume and film many TikToks. Let me know if you would like to see more of this. Don't forget to subscribe, and from now until next time, don't you forget to keep smiling. I'm gonna get powder all over my dress. Okay. ASMR. watch. I'm gonna go and wash this off when I take this off, and my arm's gonna be just stained. I'm gonna look like a complete crazy person. More so than usual. Bye-bye!